Hi everyone, thank you for joining my YouTube channel. Please make sure to hit the subscribe button before you go any further. So first up, I'm going to start with filling in her brow hairs, and before I do that, I use a lash glue. It's a transparent lash glue. I use that to make sure her brow hairs stay in place. That way I don't have to do much work, and at the end of the brow filling and all of that, it still looks natural. I'm going ahead with the brow pencil just to line below and to fill in the sparse areas of her brows. I'm using the Elegel Pro Concealer to conceal the bottom part of her brows, and for the inner corners, I'm mixing that with a foundation that matches her skin tone, just so when I'm blending, everything looks seamless. If you want your brows to come out looking flawless and clean, I'll advise you take your time to conceal with precision. And also the brush I'm using, it doesn't really matter. You can use whatever works for you. Some people use a flat brush, but you can use whatever works for you. So I'm just using the same shade of the foundation and concealer I mixed together. I'm using that to conceal the top part of her brows. That way it blends easily into her skin work. Please excuse my very unprofessional way of putting my hands before drawing her brows. Next time I'm going to try and correct that, but I just wanted you to see what I was doing because I didn't film this eye. It would have been easier for you guys to see what I was doing on this side of her face, but I didn't film that. So yeah, so now I'm just using this fluffy brush to blend the concealer into her skin. Blending just makes the work easy for you as you go on, because if you apply any product on top of another product which you did not already blend, then it's just going to make the work even harder for you. So I went in with my Becca primer. I'm applying that to her face, which was a mistake because she already has dry skin. Well, not dry skin, she already has normal skin. I really did not need to use the Becca primer because it is a matte mattifying primer. But yeah, so I blended the foundation onto her skin. That will be the L'Oreal and the NYX foundation. I blended that into her skin, and right now it looks as though it matches her perfectly, but you will see that it later on oxidizes and it becomes darker than her skin tone, but we're going to work around that. So once I'm done blending the foundation into her skin, I go in with the NYX concealer to highlight the bridge of her nose and her under eyes and a little bit on her forehead. I'm using this setting powder from Black Radiance to set the areas which I highlighted with concealer, and then I'm going in with this NYX concealer just to prep her eyelid for eyeshadow. And as you can see, I'm tapping the concealer into her skin to make sure everything blends out properly. Once I'm done with that, I'm using the excess powder on the lid of my setting powder just to set her lid space. I didn't want it to dry, so I just had to use the excess powder that was on there to apply to her lid space. And for eyeshadow, I'm using this eyeshadow palette from NK. I'm using the orange shade as a transition color. Next up, I'm using this reddish brown shade in her crease area, and I'm making sure to blend it into her inner eye. And I'm going to go back and forth with the shadows just to make sure the two shades are blended in together seamlessly. I'm using the LA Girl concealer to cut her crease, and as you can see, I'm taking it a bit at a time just to make sure I don't go overboard, and I'm making sure to go higher than her normal crease just to ensure that if she looks straight ahead, you can still see that she has a cut crease going on. Right after cutting her crease, I went ahead to use one of the shimmer shades from the NK palette, and I thought I was recording, guys. Mind you, this shade is hard, excuse my language, but it's hard. So I just went on top of that with this shimmer from LA Colors. I placed it all over the shimmer shade from the NK palette. And then I'm using the Milani pressed powder just to dust off the excess powder on her face. Everything looks really crazy right now, but I can assure you at the end of it, it's going to look much better. So I'm pressing that into her skin, and then I'm using the all over face brush just to, you know, blend everything, make sure it looks okay. I know it still looks scrappy right now, but at the end I promise you everything is going to come together. So I used the Black Radiance contour palette for just to snatch her face, and I didn't have to do much because, as you guys can already see, the foundation that is peeping through is a lot darker than her skin tone, so I just had to walk around that. Right now I'm using this setting powder from Black Radiance to reverse contour. I didn't let that sit for long, then I sprayed using this NYX setting spray. Yeah, and for blush, I'm using this blush powder. I'm using this blush palette from ELF. And for highlight, I thought I was just going to use the Wet n Wild highlighter, but I had to go in with the highlighter from my Black Radiance contour palette just to make sure it shows up on her skin tone. What you see me doing right now is using a damp beauty blender just to press everything in, and you're going to see how much difference this makes. I just soaked my beauty blender in water to make it damp, and then I pressed that all over her skin, and now she looks much better. I'm going to go ahead and line her lips using this dark chocolate lipstick. I don't know what brand, but I'm just going to use that to line her lips, and I'm going in with this nude lipstick to fill in the inner portion of her lips to give her that perfect nude lip. I'm just adding gloss to her lips to top it off. Right now, I'm applying mascara to her top and bottom lashes to make sure I melt her natural lashes into her falsies. And that will be it for this video. Thank you guys for staying through to the end. You guys are the real MVPs. Please make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and see you guys on my next one. Bye.